Welcome back, everybody, and please enjoy part 2 of my interview today with Aimee Simons from the Sarah's Warriors Foundation. Again, please check them out at sarahswarriors.com as well as on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Enjoy part 2. Respect is earned, and so is trust. And if you break the trust, as far as I don't let people back in. Once that happens, I'm done. I move on. Much like we have to purge a lot of people from our lives when a diagnosis like this comes on. If your child passes, if they survive, the support dwindles. It goes away because they hear your child has passed. They don't have to fight anymore. So what are you yelling about? They're in remission. They're NED. They're no evidence of disease, or if they've got another stable scan, they're cancer free. They rang the bell. Now we don't have to support you anymore, and they disappear. Support goes away.
And honestly, for us, like, that's the worst part, because when you're going through it in active treatment, like, you're on autopilot. Like, you are going minute to minute. You aren't you're putting everything else behind you. It is crisis mode. But then when you ring that bell, like, that, for me at least, was the worst part. All of a sudden they don't warn you about survivor's guilt. And it is very real, because you question, like, why my child? Why not theirs? Why not all of these kids? And then you feel guilty about it. And, it's hard. And then every bruise you have to worry about, every time that they're sleeping a little longer, everything, in your mind is constantly heart failure, kidney disease, lung issues, just secondary cancers. Sarah had rang the bell, she got her report out, and then she crashed, and we had to get her right back because he was afraid it was leukemia from the treatment. And it's just, it doesn't stop. It will never stop. It will, for her entire life. It's changed forever. And people just don't realize that. She rang the bell. She's done, right?
Right.
And how do you tell that to a 10-year-old kid? Like, hey, you may not be able to have children later on in life because of treatment. You may not. And I'll say Sarah takes all of it in a very good stride. And for the most part, it's very rare that she just loses her mind about it. But she's lost her childhood.
Yep. She and all of these kids have the way that they go day to day and smile. Mm-hmm. The way that they go day to day with this fight and take it so incredibly well. And for the most part, it can be for everybody to see. They do it incredibly well. And much like us parents, I think a lot of behind the scenes is when we break down, when we let it fall. But these kids, it's unbelievable. When we get sick as adults, God, we're babies, and we cry. We cry about everything, and the insignificant things that we bitch about every day, whether it's traffic or the self-checkout's not working or whatever's going on in your life at work. The things that we gripe about every single day that we're able to do, that we've been able to grow up and do. We made all those mistakes growing up. We got a chance to make all those mistakes that should be causing the cancer that our kids are getting now that are not related to environmental or lifestyle. It's just shitty luck. And here we are today. And what have we done to be able to get here? And what have they done wrong to not be able to have the opportunity? It doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, I think that the support goes away when you need it the most. And that, that the bell ringing and all that kind of stuff. Like, I think that those accolades, are good. They're good victories that we should celebrate, but I think they're often overused by doctors as well. And there's a false hope given a lot of times that I don't like. A false hope for us getting to the hospital saying, okay, we've got these new treatments to try, airlifted to another hospital. There's nothing more we can do. That's wonderful. Now we've come all the way out here. You've charged our insurance company $45,000 to fly her here to tell us that there's nothing more that you can do. And then you tell us we don't want you to go home because she's going to code. Well, it's too damn bad because we're leaving. She's not going to look at these four walls. That's the end of it. But I want something that has come up through other parents that I've talked to, and I want to ask, and you don't have to answer it if you don't want to, but there's two words that have been brought up in the past, and I've spoken to other families. I've spoken to one child about it, and that's survivor's guilt. It is a real thing. It is true that these families and kids truly feel like, why me and why not my friend? I know that it's real. It breaks my heart, though, because all the families and these children should be celebrating their victories, but they're losing their friends. And they truly feel, and how do you explain that to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old children?
That's a hard one. It's something we're dealing with here because she's lost so many friends. One of her friends locally, when she passed away, Sarah didn't talk for like 3 weeks. It was right in the heat of her treatment, and I watched as she's going through hell physically and now mentally, and she just shut down. She didn't talk. And it broke us. And then, Sam and Nadia and all of these friends that she's met through her journey. We are at the point, and it may be the wrong decision, and I get that. We don't tell her anymore because we're watching her just deflate more and more. And it's, as I sit on my laptop, and every time we get the news, go into our list of kids that we've given care packages to and supported their families, and putting that in there, highlighting, it's nauseating the amount of kids that we've lost. And a lot of times they are very close to Sarah, from being online Roblox friends to texting to all that. Every time it makes all of that survivor's guilt come to the surface. Why her? Why me? Why me? In a time where you should feel like, hey, I don't want to say like proud, but you survived. You're here, yeah, you're not as healthy as you were before cancer. You never will be, but you're still here. And that's what her oncologist said, you may have coded several times, but you're here. But that means nothing to a 10-year-old who is going to another funeral. So we made the choice a couple weeks ago just not to tell her anymore. And then another good friend of hers, relapsed, and it's just like, it doesn't ever stop. It just doesn't stop. And you want her, she's already had childhood taken from her. You want her to enjoy it, what she has left of it. She's lost 3 years, more than that. If you go back to when they first found the cells, since she was 4, 6 years of worrying. And I wish, again, that there was an easy answer as to why. What's the right decision? Are we doing wrong by not telling her? Or are we just protecting and hoping one day that, she doesn't ask, or I don't know. It's just Survivor's Day, I think, was the second. And I had a really hard time that day, even wanting to put anything out, because they should all be survivors. I don't want to celebrate my child when friends have lost theirs. So I struggle with that a lot.
I've heard that in the past, and it's been a while since I've spoken about it, probably since the first year since JC passed, that I heard a lot of people not wanting to share stories, especially at that point when I was really new in the, like the TikTok community circle with JC passing. A lot of people did not want to share stories where they wouldn't tag me in things and stuff like that because of that. They didn't want me to feel bad or me to feel, I guess, upset or anything like that. And I get it. I do. And it's a respect thing. And I respect the decisions, but I also want everybody to share their victories. I want you to share, because you should be proud, and you should be able to share, small victories, big victories, anything. There are certain things when you're going through this, or you're going through your celebrations or whatever that are triggers, both emotionally and like sounds, things like that are triggering for me. And sometimes I can't be a part of it, but I can't speak for everybody in the community. But I definitely know, I think that we love to celebrate victories. We love to celebrate good days. We're massive on that when we're on social media, saying you have to come in with good news. We love that. And yes, it is definitely a difficult situation. And we ask ourselves all the time, why did it work for this person and not for us? And, why did this, happen and this didn't happen? And why are there other people that have the same type of diagnosis that are thriving and she didn't? I mean, we'll never know the answers. We'll never know why. But I know that, I actually spoke to Zeke's mom about this. And I said, it breaks my heart to know that the kids feel this.
Mm-hmm.
The parents, I can understand, and I can, we can kind of talk it out and stuff, but it kills me that the kids feel bad, or the kids wonder these questions. They shouldn't be wondering why their friends died. They shouldn't be wondering why they're the only one that's going to grow up and they won't have their friends at their birthday parties and graduations and things like that. They shouldn't be worried about this. They should be worried about whether or not they broke something and put it away and mom and dad are going to find it out, or they skinned their knee, or they fell out of a tree. I mean, this is what they should be worried about, not these deep emotional feelings. And so for me personally, I love to see the stories. I love to see the survival. I love to see the bell ringings. I love to see that. There's certain things I can't listen to or watch
Sure.
in general because it's a trigger, but I'm there for all these families, and I am 100% on board, because we are all about ensuring that JC's legacy lives on through everything we do, everything these kids do, everything our organizations do. So we want to see it, but I understand.
And I think I can honestly say you are one of the few people that do support families despite your pain and your loss, and it's honorable. We had a very good friend here who, when her daughter passed away, she stopped talking to us, and she hates me now. And I get that that's part of the grief journey, and that anger has to go somewhere, and I'm happy to bear it. But it took a long time to come to the realization, like, I can't help that Sarah survived, and I can't help that your child did not. It was out of my control, and you just had to learn to be just what it is. It, things are going to happen. Even with our nonprofit, there's been times that people have said, "Well, stop telling her, stop." She doesn't need to know that. But at the same time, I'm like, you don't understand. This isn't my nonprofit. I help her run it because she's a child. This is her legacy. This is her baby. This is her passion, and she doesn't just send out care packages. We connect with these families, not all of them, but a lot of them. And is it right for her not to know? I mean, it's her. This is her effort. This is her work. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I don't think there's any right or wrong answer when it comes to how to deal with it, when it comes to how to talk to your child and navigate this entire journey with them and with friends and family and with people that you connect with. Just like I say that there's two separate ways that people will go when their child passes. They choose to take that journey of nonprofit, advocacy, things like that. And there's others that choose to kind of just go into the background, and they don't want to be part of the world anymore because they were connected to it for so long. Now they don't want anything to do with it. Neither one of those is right or wrong. It's how you choose to live, move forward, how you choose to grieve. That's 100%. But everybody's different in that. But yeah, nobody's doing it the wrong way or nobody's doing it the right way. And as many books as are written on how to raise your kids, there's no book on how to deal with this. And if it is, much like most of the books that are written about how to raise your kids, they're written by people that don't have kids. And so,
Yep.
so that's the reality of it. And then how do you talk to your kids about grief? How do you talk to your kids about losing a friend? How do you talk to your kids about diagnosis? Well, most of those stories and advice or pathways are given by families that are going through it, that are physically living it every single day, or by survivors that are sharing their stories and getting those victories out there, giving the rest of this community hope that there's going to be change, that if I can do it, you can do it. And unfortunately, yes, there are going to be a lot more children that are lost before we finally get this damn thing figured out. But that's why we're here. That's why we continue to fight. That's why I will not allow this to end. I will not allow her legacy to die. I will not allow her smile, her laughter, everything she invoked into our lives. I will not allow that to end. I will not allow it to be forgotten.
Yeah. I said it, I think I posted a little while ago, you can say, hey, you don't stop focusing on it. Like, be positive. Like, I am positive, but this is also what I'm called to do. I'm not going to stop just because my daughter's done with treatment. Till my dying breath, I will make sure that these kids get better than what our crappy government is giving them, because it's just not right. And the people that don't understand that, I want to say to them, one day, go up one day into the cancer center and listen to the cries of these tiny babies to 18-year-old kids and their pain and suffering. It will forever change you, and you won't be on the sidelines anymore. You will move everything to try to save every single one of them. You don't ever forget what you see and what you hear up there. It haunts you, and no parent should have to go through that.
No, they should not. And I've said in the past that if you have an opportunity to have a conversation, to meet one of these kids at any point in your life and just sit and have a 5-minute conversation, they will change your life forever. They will imprint on you, and to the point where you will not be able to forget what they said, how they said it, and how genuine their hearts are. You will not be able to walk away from that anymore. I would love for you to go and visit these hospitals. And listen, it's not because they're a sideshow. It's because you need to see what the reality of it is. And the reality is not flowery commercials and ads on TV and stuff. That's not what it is. This reality is disgusting. It's dirty. It's scary. It's long nights. It's drugs. It is syringes. It's freaking insurance companies. It is dealing with other people telling you that they know better how to take care of your kid that have never seen your kid. That's a whole situation, but it's not a pretty thing to deal with. And that's the unfortunate side, is that everybody thinks that, well, they've got great cancer centers, they've got great children's hospitals all over the place, there shouldn't be an issue anymore. It shouldn't. But it's also a very, very dirty thing that, again, the parents are carrying 99% of the load here. Doctors are administering the drugs in the hospital, but once you leave, everything's happening at home. And until you've had to administer drugs through IVs and set up feeding tubes and clean them out, until you had NG tubes come out multiple times, until you've cleaned up messes because your children, their cognitive abilities get delayed, until you've had to do and hold their hair back when they're throwing up and the hair falls out, until they hand you a tuft of hair after a shower and it becomes a reality, you're not going to see the real side of what this world is for far too many people.
Absolutely. And it truly is a shame that I bet 100% of adults in this country know of that place, and that is their only knowledge of pediatric cancer. And I get why they do what they do. You got to get those donors in. What better way to do it? However, why don't you show the worst of the worst? Why don't you, all right, be here while, she's now 10 and she's sobbing at the kitchen table because her brain is so fogged she can't even remember basic addition and subtraction facts. You're not seeing what it really is. And it's a disservice, I think, to America as a whole. You have to, nothing's going to change unless they see what it really is. And it's not laughter and, you know, child life specialist puppies running down the hall. It has its place, but that's not it.
No, it's definitely weird, fraudulent, even marketing. I don't like it. I think that it's along the same lines as nonprofits, CEOs taking salaries. I think that it's wrong. It rubs me the wrong way, and it takes away from what is the true meaning of what you're supposed to be doing. And again, this giant organization, I'm sure you guys can all figure it out. Okay, I'm not going to call them out. Maybe one day I'll have them on this podcast and we can ask them these hard questions. But why do you do what you do? Why do you do it the way that you do it? Why do you not show the absolute realities of it? Is it because TV? Is it because the networks won't allow you to show the true realities of things? Because we know that even in movies, you don't see children essentially being hurt or having things happen to them, because that's a no-no. That's a big no-no. But it's real. It's a real thing, and it's a real thing that people deal with every single day. So you know what? I think it needs to be shown. And maybe that's something that you're going to see soon on our own end. Maybe we'll create something. I know it's been talked about, and we'll see how it goes. Maybe it'll get cast away. Maybe we'll get hate for it, but whatever, because this is our world. This is our world that we live in every single day. And if you don't like what you see, you can always change the channel, but we truly would love for you to listen and understand why we're doing what we're doing. And sometimes you have to break out the bad stuff. And I think we all have, like I said before, I think we all have the bad stuff saved. And it's ready if need be, but I don't think we ever thought we'd have to share it to get people to realize how bad it really is.
Yeah. And they do great. They really do great work, and they help a lot of kids. But at the same time, like, if I have to hear one more time, like, did you take Sarah too? Like, please, like, do you want to see the denial letter? Should I just like tattoo it to my face? Like, they don't know. That's not how it works. It's not you just show up there and hope for the best. And I think even that is wrong for what they're portraying to the public. It's, how many of these other hospitals would kill for some of that funding to fund their own research studies, and it's just not. So
yeah, it's and I'll say this on the side of that. I know that they do say no child is ever turned away for lack of ability to pay. By throwing that last part in there, it doesn't draw you to what they said in the beginning, but that's just not true. So all I will say is this: I know a lot of people blindly donate to, I want to say, two of the largest charities in this country. One is donated to kids, one is donated to breast cancer, and you can all figure out the name of that one too. Again, nothing wrong with them, but understand that a lot of people donate blindly because they know the name. That's what they do. Research where your money's going. There are hundreds and hundreds of organizations out there doing the same thing, and some that are dedicated to exactly what you want your money to go to. All you've got to do is research it. All you've got to do is look it up. All you've got to, and support smaller organizations, smaller charities that are doing local work, that are doing global work, that are out there trying to make a big difference. And they can absolutely tell you where their money's going, because they're not making $200 billion a year in donations. They're making $10,000 a year in donations. They can tell you down to the dime where that money's going. Get your money's worth when you're donating. Look it up. Do your research. That's it. I'm never going to tell you not to donate to something unless I can truly prove that it's a fraudulent organization. Just do your research. That's the best advice that I can give when it comes to where to donate your money.
Exactly.
You mentioned that you might have a nonprofit organization that is run in your house there. You want to talk about that and how people could donate to that organization?
Oh yeah, Sarah's Warriors. Sarah, I'll just go through it real quick. It's a cool story. So when the kids were little, they always have wanted to better the world, as the girls would say. So it started off small. They fundraised for well water in Africa, raised about $400 for that. Then they started Sparkle Pet Adoptions, where they created pet rocks with adoption cards, and the kind people that we are family and friends with purchased these rocks and adopted them, and then they would give the money to buy summer toys for our local children's home. They donated to Operation Blue Santa, just lots of different things. When Sarah got sick, we were at we were at her oncologist, and he said, "What do you want for your birthday?" And I'm thinking, pony, Barbies. And she said, "I want 100 police patches," because Sarah is just consumed with law enforcement. And she could talk. She wanted to be a cop like her dad and both of her grandfathers on both sides. And I thought, 100 what? And she's like, 100 police patches. I thought, where am I going to get 100? Where am I going to find this? Like, I don't even know. So I put out a post on social media and it went viral. These people loaded this girl up. She's got over 3,000 police patches, 400 challenge coins. She's got Bobby helmets from the UK, a full Hong Kong service uniform, but as she's getting all of these packages in, and our UPS store we had a PO box set up, overwhelmed, she came to us and said, "I want to give these away. I only wanted 100. I would like to give these." So that she started doing care packages to kids locally and around the state that she knew that was sick, and she put her police patches in it with toys that she picked out for the hospital, and it grew and it grew and it grew. And I said, "You know what? We're going to file for a 501," and we did. And the girls run it. Every month, I feel like our requests for care packages are growing. They call it a battle box because the New Jersey Department of Corrections sent her a battle box with blankets and things for her treatment in there. And she just loved that idea so much that she had the Operation Sparkle Battle Box. Sarah's all about glitter and things sparkly, but it's truly her calling, and we just support it and help her try to run it. I mean, she's a kid. I think donations are the hardest part. We try multiple different areas to get funding in. Times are tough for everybody right now, and we get that. But I mean, each box is about $60-$70 with shipping to send out, but she just loves it. And yeah, just her passion to make other kids smile and not feel so miserable for a moment.
It's an incredible story because it once again goes back to prove how amazing these kids are in their own right when they don't have to be. They should just be worrying about being kids, worried about doing stupid things and getting their brothers and sisters in trouble and whatever else. And they're worrying about other people, which is incredible. So it's a really awesome story and I love it. And it's obviously we're in the same space as the care packages and it is going through the roof right now. The requests are incredible. I have 17 that are ready to go sitting in the basement here now. And we've had over 160 in the first half of the year. So we'll probably clear 1,000 in our total since starting before the end of the year, it's wonderful that we've had that kind of reach, from starting out basically searching people on Facebook and asking if we can send something to, creating the website and it just going through the roof. But it's also, it's another sad reminder of how many kids and families there are out there that need this, need that pick me up, because the care package is meant to distract. It's meant to take you away from what you're dealing with, and give you things that, they might distract you for 10 minutes. They might distract you for an hour, but that's 10 minutes or an hour. You're not focusing on the hospital and needle sticks and what your next treatment is and MRIs and all that stuff. So that's incredible. And I love that the kids, are involved in it and the kids decided that they wanted to do it. I love that the youngest one is the expert distractor.
Well,
You know,
he is.
He's got a lot. He's got a lot of pep, though. He's got a
He
lot
does.
of pep.
But I think it's also, we talk about distraction. It's a distraction for Sarah too. It gets her mind off of the hell she's living. I remember when right before we were going in Houston for her CAR T infusion, her friend relapsed with neuroblastoma. And the night before we stayed at the hotel because she had to be there early, she went to Target and she used her own birthday gift cards and stuff that people sent to shop for him. And so like the morning of her big treatment, we had to drop it off to his floor first before we went up, and it's her own money. It's not even donor money she used. It's her own money. And like $100 worth. To me, it was just so heartwarming. Like, I know that it was distracting her. It was getting her mind off of the nerves and the anxiety of what was coming up, but just it makes you proud as a parent to see that your kids are leaving the world a better place. They're not just playing Xbox in the basement, eating Cheetos and Hot Pockets and, yelling for a new controller. They're changing the world, and
Yeah.
like Stacy, look at her legacy. Look at what you guys are doing now. And it's just so, so cool. She still has her hand all over that.
Yeah, she is. She is in everything that we do, and the inspiration for everything that we have continued to push forward with. You know, when we started this, it was she loved to do it. She loved to give back because she got one giant box for her very first admission. It was from her classmates in her school, and it just had so much stuff in it. And it was like from that point on, I want to be able to, to do things for other kids and be able to give back to them. And when she was feeling good, even when she didn't feel good, she loved to be able to say, hey, is there any boxes to do? Can we do boxes? And the best ones were the ones that were close to her age because we'd say, JC, just put yourself in a box. And she would put things in there that she loved. And that was something that, when it was there, it was that healthy distraction because when she didn't feel good, even when she felt sick, when she had no energy, she didn't want to eat, that took her mind off of it. And it's like we're giving that same thing to these other kids and these other families. And we're doing it to the best of our ability from ages under a year, up to 18 years old. It's like we're doing all of this and we're trying our best just to, when every time I do them now, I want to know that this is something that's going to take their mind away from everything. It's just going to make them smile. And we don't do it for the recognition or for the accolades. And we don't get a paycheck for this. We don't get money from this. Like this, everything goes back into the business. And the best things that I receive as payment are pictures and emails from the parents. If the kids are old enough, they'll email and they'll say, and I had one a couple weeks ago and she emailed me and she said, I was having the worst day ever. And I got home and this box was on the front porch and it made my day. And her biggest ask in the packages was that she loves cancer awareness stuff. If you don't believe, I loaded that stuff up with everything we had, stickers and keychains and whatever, and every bracelet. I mean, I must have sent 10 of them. And because that's was something that she wanted to do. She wanted to spread awareness and she wanted to, and that made her happy. That was the best email I could have gotten all day. And I think those are great. And I often print them out and I keep them and stuff like that because that proves we're doing the right thing. But at the same time, we are the opposite of what a business is because we want to go out of business one day. We do not want to be doing this anymore because we want to have fixed this problem.
Yeah. These kids, when they get that cancer diagnosis, they're a whole different level. Like every one of them. I haven't met one that is selfish or greedy, or they genuinely want to change the world. They want to advocate because they see it. They're old souls because they have to be. And every one of them are just their stories. As you're reading through them and you're listening, it breaks you. But at the same time, like, man, there's just pride for they're incredible kids. And they don't complain. They don't, like, I don't remember one time where even when she's sick and she's laying there on the couch with a vomit bag like right next to her, and it's never, why me? They just, they're just a whole different level.
We'll never be as strong as what these kids are, or at least what they portray right out in front of us. We will never be that strong. I mentioned in the beginning, we complain about everything and insignificant things that mean nothing, that aren't going to change the course of our life and aren't going to make a difference in what we do tomorrow, or how the rest of our being is gonna be affected. It's not going to make a difference. But we gripe about it, and we're all guilty of it. Even as we sit here now, we're all guilty of it. But it's like, take the time to understand that you never know what someone's going through. You never know how close you're standing to somebody that's having the worst day of their life. You never know how close you're standing to a parent that has just received the worst news of their life, or may have just lost their child. Just be nice to people. There's no reason that we can't just be good people and be like these kids. For God's sakes, just live through the way that they attack life, which is, they're not worried about stupid things. They don't, that stuff doesn't change the way that their life is going to go. Just live through the way that they live every single day, and just be genuine good people. Yeah. And it will be a better place no matter what.
Yeah.
All right, so this is where I will ask you to give any last words or last advice to everybody listening, things that you would, like to leave people with.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I guess what I tell the kids often is, don't ever lose hope. Even when things are the darkest, even when they're the hardest, and you truly don't think there's a way forward, don't ever lose hope. You can't run before you learn to walk. Baby steps. Pain doesn't always last forever. There's always a rainbow out there somewhere. Just keep going.
Excellent. I love it. And, just also, everybody understand that there's a community here. So if you're listening to this and you need people to talk to, we are here. We are available to talk to. None of us are hard to find on social media or wherever. There's always somebody that you can talk to. So reach out if you need something. Men, take care of yourselves and be okay. Allow the feelings to come out if you need them. Again, I'm here. I'm not hard to find. If you need somebody to yell at, somebody to talk to, somebody just to listen, I'm here. So if anybody would like to check them out, they are at sarahswarriors.com. You can also find them on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Just search for it. You'll see every way that you can help. You can check out their website, and there's donation possibilities there, as well as you can learn more about the organization. So I want to thank you for taking the time to speak with me today. I know we got into some hard stuff, but you know what? It's the reality of what we live. So that's the best part about this, is that we can also be unfiltered. You can't come in and not say hi.
You gotta come say hi.
Hey. And there's the distraction we were all hoping for. See how it breaks the mood. It just changes everything. So it was fantastic. I appreciate you coming on here, and I'm honored to be able to have met you guys and be a part of this community together, and continue to fight this fight along people that are just as strong and determined and hard-headed as I am when it comes to not taking no from anybody.
Likewise. We're so grateful we found you guys in a very hard time. Help get us through it. So.
We will always be here. We're not going anywhere. And that is in case we take one of these lives too far, and I don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to keep on pushing, keep on trucking. And I think there's going to be great things ahead. So I want to thank you again, and we will see everybody else next week.